Does humanity need to erase 297 years of its history? If it were up to the German publisher Heribert Illig, the answer would be yes. Illig contends that the period from September 614 to August 911 never existed, and that it was fabricated by two emperors and a pope for their own benefit. This notion, unsurprisingly, sounds implausible because it is. Illig first, let's say, delighted Germany with this thesis in 1991, followed by the release of his book, The Invented Middle Ages 5 years later. Despite its dubious claims, the book continues to sell well. German historians thoroughly debunked Illig's thesis by the turn of the millennium, seemingly putting the matter to rest. However, in recent years, the thesis has gained traction in the Anglo-Saxon world. Today we will explore what this theory entails and why it is unfounded. We will also examine why it has experienced a resurgence in English-speaking regions. Given that this is a distinctly German topic, you will hear my voice throughout this video. If this disturbs you, don't worry, the other presenter will return soon. However, I believe it is more authentic for a German to pronounce German names. Illig is not a historian, but a person who works in the field of chronology criticism. The German studies graduate considers the current calculation of time to be incorrect and has built a career around this belief. From 1981 to 1988, he was a leading member of the Pseudo-Scientific Society for the Reconstruction of Human and Natural History. For instance, Illig has published his view that the Egyptian age should be shortened by 2000 years. The starting point for his opinion on the Middle Ages is the introduction of the Gregorian calendar in 1582. At that time, Pope Gregory XIII corrected the Julian calendar introduced by Gaius Julius Caesar and deleted 10 days. I will try to explain it as simply as possible. The Julian calendar assumes a year length of 365.25 days. In reality, however, the year is only 365.2422 days long. So with the Julian calendar, each year was 0.0078 days too long. I'm so sorry, but this is what he used. By the 16th century, this discrepancy had become noticeable due to Easter. The Council of Nicaea in 325 had set Easter on the first Sunday after the first full moon following the beginning of spring. Clerics had calculated the dates centuries in advance using Easter tables. These calculations no longer aligned due to the extra days in the Julian calendar. By 1582, the date of Easter was 9.73 days earlier than calculated. Pope Gregory therefore cancelled 10 days. According to Illig, however, he should have cancelled 13 days. Illig calculated from the introduction of the Julian calendar until 1582 and arrived at an error of 12.7 days. Here we should point out a critical mistake in Illig's reasoning. Gregory did not calculate from the start of the Julian calendar, but from the Council of Nicaea. His concern was with the accuracy of the Easter tables. With his Bal Inter Gravissimas, he ensured they were correct again. Calculated from 325 onwards, the 10 days fit. Illig concluded that the 3 days not deleted by the Pope equated to 297 years, which appear in official historiography but did not really exist. I know it sounds foolish because it is. The engineer and historian of technology Hans-Ulrich Niemitz agreed with Illig's thesis and coined the term phantom years. Over time, this became known as phantom time Niemitz was also a follower of New German medicine. If you are interested, you should research it yourself. I refuse to give this nonsense space on my channel. Illig, supported by Niemitz and economist Gunnar Heinsohn, concluded that the overcalculated 297 years were from 614 September to August 911, and that there should be erased from history therefore. His arguments, he cited a lack of written sources, astronomical factors, and a lack of archaeological evidence. Illig dismisses scientific arguments such as radiocarbon dating and dendrochronology, claiming they are circular references based on the wrong chronology. He argues that if these methods were realigned with his chronology, they would confirm his view. This is also incorrect and shows he has no idea what he is talking about. Regarding the missing years, strictly speaking, Illig should have referred to the invented early Middle Ages, as the Middle Ages extend to 1500. However, this term probably would not have sold as well. If you want to waste your time with the details of Illig's arguments, I recommend issue 3 of 1993 from his magazine Zeitensprünge or Time Jumps. Just know that in the 5th century, clerics calculated more precise than Illig did, even so they had to use 4 different calendar systems. Naturally, one must ask why anyone would be interested in erasing 297 years from history. Illig blames Pope Sylvester II, the Roman German Emperor Otto III, and the Byzantine Emperor Constantine VII for this. According to him, they all wanted to live around the year 1000, as it was auspicious and lent religious legitimacy to their rule. Moreover, only these 3 individuals had a sufficiently strong relationship to carry out the forgeries necessary for inventing the missing 297 years. Illig claims that they fabricated figures like Charlemagne and created false sources to support their narrative. The Byzantine Emperor Constantine likely appears in Illig's conspiracy theory because even Illig acknowledges that numerous Byzantine sources report events from 614 to 911. German historians initially dismissed Illig's thesis as nonsense, and rightfully so. However, when his book was published in 1996 and garnered significant media interest, they could no longer ignore it. They have compiled English translations of the most important refutations by respected German historians for my members, available via the channel's community tab. In short, Illig has a strongly Eurocentric worldview. However, the years 614 to 911 also existed on other continents and are well documented there. Illig's alleged evidence is also false. For example, there are more than 7,000 original documents from the period in question. While it is true that many sources from the early Middle Ages survive through later copies, there are also thousands of originals. This applies to archaeological finds as well. Additionally, numerous logical fallacies must be considered. The Anno Domini system for counting the years, which is still used today, was invented during the supposedly missing years. Rulers such as Clotaire II ruled beyond the year 614. Implementing this deception would have required an enormous amount of counterfeiting and a massive bureaucracy. What, for example, would the Muslims have gained from supporting this conspiracy? Illig's methodology is also flawed. He avoids quoting sources and writes in an extremely superficial manner. These are not just mistakes but deliberate manipulations. Illig is not the only person to get lost in such nonsensical theses. I've already mentioned on my channel the lady who denies the existence of the Roman Empire. From Russia, there's a theory that resets the beginning of civilization to, what a surprise, to the Kievan Rus. Why is Illig's thesis currently celebrating a comeback in the Anglo-Saxon world? I can only speculate. Here are two possibilities. First, we live in a time when belief in authority has become a political battleground. Consequently, more conspiracy theories have gained traction. Why not one that erases a challenging period in European history? Second, publications like Abraham Lloyd's have revisited Illig's work, giving his remarks new publicity. Some people might be disappointed that I am not open to re-examine such a thesis. It has been tested many times and it has been consistently debunked. It is simply a construct of lies which in my opinion serves only the purpose of personal enrichment. Thanks for watching this rant, and please like and subscribe if you liked the content, me ranting for example. Bye!